Parsons Heating and Plumbing manufactures thermostats that it uses in several of its products. Management is considering whether to continue manufacturing the thermostats or to buy them from an outside source. The following information is available. The company needs 80,000 thermostats a year, and these thermostats can be purchased from an outside supplier at a cost of $6 per unit. The cost of manufacturing the thermostats in-house is $7.50 per unit. And we have a breakdown. Material, direct labor, manufacturing overhead, both variable and fixed. Discontinuing the manufacturing of the thermostats will eliminate all of the direct materials and all of the direct labor, but it will only eliminate 60% of the variable overhead cost. All of the fixed costs will remain, and then only 60% will be eliminated. So therefore, 40% of the variable cost will remain. If the thermostats are purchased from an outside source, certain machinery that was used in the production process would no longer have to be leased. Accordingly, $9,200 of fixed overhead can be avoided. So the first thing that they're asking us to do is an analysis on cost on leasing versus or I guess buying versus making the two products. So let's start out first here. We'll label this make. All right. If we make the product, well, we're going to have direct materials and direct labor. So that's 156 and 132. And we're going to have the overhead. In overhead, we're going to have both the variable and the fixed components, 168 and 144. And so if we add all of that up, as they showed here, we're going to have $600,000 worth of cost. If we then divide that by the 80,000 units that we're going to be able to produce, then we're going to have $7.50 per unit. All right. Now let's look at this buy option. On the surface, we can buy them for $6 per unit, and it costs us $7.50 to make them. So it seems like buying is a great deal. However, there are some important details here that we need to pay very close attention to. So first of all, if we buy them, all of the direct materials and direct labor, those go to zero, right? No issues there. It will eliminate 60% of the variable overhead. All right. So if we take this variable overhead, 168, and multiply by 0.4, which is the part that it won't eliminate, 168 times 0.4, I get $67,200 worth of cost that did not get eliminated. And then all of the fixed cost, 144, stay. However, it does say that we will be able to avoid leasing some of this fixed cost. So I actually am not going to have to pay all of that. There will be $9,200 worth that can be avoided. And so we can back that little piece out, right? However, we're going to have to pay the $6 per unit for our units, right? So if we take, I don't have a ton of space here, but our 80,000 units times our $6 a piece. So 80,000 times 6 gives me $480,000 worth of cost to purchase, right? This is buying those units. So then if we add all of this up, so let's calculate that, 67,200 plus the 144,000 minus the 9,200 that we saved plus $480,000 to buy the part. Now I'm at $682,000. If we divide that by the 80,000, 682 divided by 80,000 gives me $8 and 52 5. So I'm going to round that to $8.53 per unit. So clearly, making is the better choice, right? It's definitely cheaper. Even though here on the front end, it kind of looks like buying would be the winner. But in reality, there's these other elements that don't get eliminated and or at least not fully eliminated. And so we need to um, that's why we need to do this analysis to really check and see, all right, what are our true costs when we buy this item, and and then compare those to the cost to actually make it.